Tantri Kandararu Rajiv Arua has been sent to SIT custody for a day. The Tantri was produced in the Kollam Vigilance Court after the remand period expired. Investigation team applied for custody for further questioning. So those kind of investigations continue as ED has recovered more documents that point to greater collusion. But let's quickly also give you a lowdown, viewers, on what the investigation so far has revealed. If we just talk about back in the day in 2019, what had transpired, gold-coated idols, remember, were taken out of the temple for repair. Now, the gold-clad copper plates of the Dwarkapalka idols at the Sabrimala temple weighed 42.8 kgs before the entire regilding process. Now, they were sent to Chennai for repair work, weighed only 38.25 kgs upon their return. That's the manner in which the story first started unfolding, coming in the view of public domain. Investigations were sought. The missing gold, over 4.5 kgs, is worth 5 crore rupees. And that sparked concerns about mismanagement at the hands of the Devaswam board. Going across to Arunima on that note once again, Arunima, which also makes the entire scenario amply clear on how all of this began unfolding in 2019. Now, the first nod was given by the TDB, but tell us about this alleged collusion between the temple board and some of these private jewelers who are now under scrutiny.
So that makes it worse for the devotees. You know, we all know Sabrimala means a lot. Devotees actually go on a specific ritual days before they take on the pilgrimage of Sabrimala, as far as their food habits are concerned, as far as their lifestyle, even clothes, everything has to be strictly in regimen as far as doing this pilgrimage is concerned. And then if you get to know that people who are responsible for ensuring the maintenance of the deity and the temple, they themselves are playing with the faith of people, playing with the offerings that are being made, playing with the artifacts, which is all part of the temple complex. That is what the investigators are now suspecting, that the board itself, the Tantri family, many of them were involved in this corruption, and for years together. At least 3 years is the immediate prima facie evidence that is coming in, but further investigation would reveal that the rot started running much earlier and much deeper. Like I was telling you, ED has recovered, it claims invoices and receipts, which shows the collusion with the jewelers, which shows how gold artifacts, even in official records of the temple and of the board, were altered to make gold artifacts look like copper. And every time these artifacts were sent out and to these jewelers, they would chip off. Chemical extraction of gold would happen. Some of them would be returned. We just pointed out to our viewers at least one artifact, and the door frame also. The main door also suffered. So there is evidence that ED claims to have had to show collusion between the board members, those responsible for the upkeep of the temple, and these jewelers. Now these searches have given prima facie evidence. You could see summons, questioning, and perhaps even custodial interrogation in the next few days.
And so far, raids across 3 states, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. Does the Enforcement Directorate plan on conducting searches in other states, other parts of these states? Arunima?
As and when they have more evidence. I think the first round of searches that were carried out, and we also have to understand that there is a game of one-upmanship that is going on between the SIT and the Enforcement Directorate. A judicial intervention was required before ED could register this case on 9th of January, and subsequently these searches have been carried out. The company meeting just reported has been sent into SIT custody. So the predicate offense, and you have to understand that ED was only looking at the laundering aspect. The predicate offense of corruption has to be established before laundering goes forward. So I think it's a multi-pronged investigation currently. It's amply clear that faith of people have been compromised, that pilgrims have been cheated, have been slighted at Sabrimala. ED is convinced that some of those ill-gotten wealth was laundered away. But prima facie, we also have to look at what the SIT's findings really are as far as the predicate offense of corruption, of cheating, of conspiracy, theft, etc. is concerned.
Also, speaking of the private jewelers, of the documents that have been seized by the Enforcement Directorate through the searches carried out in these 3 states, are we looking at one jeweler alone, or is this now turning out to be a game that possibly involved multiple jewelers, multiple private jewelers, allegedly would have colluded with some of the temple officials?
So as far as private jewelers go, there seems to be a logic, a pattern. Why jewelers based in Chennai, based in other parts of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka were selected. I think as as far as faith goes, it would have been difficult for these alleged, conspirators, be it in the board or be it in the temple management premises. It would have been difficult for them to collude with Kerala-based jewelers or jewelers who were close to the vicinity of the temple because the faith, the devotion is just too much. And that's why ED suspects that deliberately, a distance was maintained. They deliberately chose jewelers in Chennai, in Bengaluru, in other parts of these two states. Preliminary searches have given them some leads, and they are scrutinizing the evidence. They could take the statement of some of those involved and then decide the next course of action, which would also unearth more layers of this huge conspiracy at Sabrimala.
The searches, of course, stem from the two FIRs that were filed by the Kerala Police Crime Branch. But all of this, Arunima, goes back to 2019. Gold-coated idols taken out of the temple for repair. And what we're learning is that back in the day, the gold that was carried out of the temple premises for repairs weighed at 42.8 kgs, and it was then sent to Chennai for repairs. When it was brought back, it was 38.25 kgs of weight that was seen, that was measured upon its return. That's where the problem began. Arunima, if we were just to stitch the timeline together, when was this highlighted by temple officials? Who were the first people to highlight this, take it to the police or law enforcement agencies? How did it all began?
So the devotees were suspicious. Like you just pointed out, one artifact going out of the temple complex, coming back lighter by grams, and then all of the gold artifacts where suddenly people who were part of the regular visits to Sabrimala, mainly devotees, pilgrims, they were all beginning to get suspicious about the way, the gold artifact, even the door frame. The door also was under scanner. So that's how it all began. Like you pointed out, it was the local police which first got wind of it. The crime branch started probe because there was an FIR, there was a complaint given, and that is where it all began. And you also have to keep in mind that this is a very, very politically important case as well. We're looking at elections in Kerala in a few months. Bharatiya Janata Party has been at the forefront of accusing the left government of playing with the astha of people and not doing enough to protect Sabrimala. So, it became even that more imperative for the state government to ensure that proper investigation happens. That's where the Kerala police came in. Subsequently, a special investigation team was set up to look at how deep the rot ran. ED stepped in because it told the judiciary there in Kerala that it felt there was also a money laundering aspect. The documents that SIT had managed to seize pertaining to the conspiracy and theft, ED wanted access to that. A court order had to be taken to study those documents as well. SIT first was not in favor of sharing the documents, but after the judicial pronouncement, ED, based on those documents, registered its FIR on the 9th of January, and subsequently these searches have been carried out, which has led to more unearthing of the conspiracy. What we initially thought was limited to gold pilferage is now turning out to be much more, playing with the offerings that devotees made, playing with the astha, the faith of devotees there.
It's being called a well-orchestrated criminal conspiracy involving TDB officials, former temple administrators, private sponsors, jewelers. Many thanks, Arunima, for joining us with all those details. We head into a quick break with that. We'll be right back with lots more.